Improving your English. A comprehensive guide. English is a global language used in almost every field, from business to entertainment. Mastering English opens many doors, whether for professional advancement, academic success, or just communicating effectively. Here, we will explore how to improve your English, starting from the basics and moving toward more advanced aspects of the language. 1. Building a strong vocabulary. At the core of every language is its vocabulary. You need words to express thoughts, emotions, and ideas. Expanding your vocabulary is the first step to improving your English. Start simple. Begin with everyday words and phrases. Focus on the words you encounter frequently in daily life. Use flashcards, word apps, or simply keep a notebook of new words you come across. Context matters. Learning words. In context is much more effective than rote memorization. Try reading short stories, news articles, or blogs. When you come across a new word, note its meaning and how it's used in a sentence. This will help you understand how words fit together naturally. Synonyms and antonyms. A great way to deepen your vocabulary is to learn synonyms, words with similar meanings, and antonyms, words with opposite meanings. For example, for the word happy, you could also learn joyful, synonym, and sad, antonym. This will broaden your vocabulary range and allow you to express yourself in varied ways. Word families. Words often come in groups or families. For instance, if you learn the word create, you should also know related words like creator, creation, and creative. Understanding these word families will help you grasp the language faster and use words in different contexts. 2. Understanding basic. Grammar. Grammar is the set of rules that structure a language. Understanding basic grammar is crucial for constructing sentences and communicating clearly. Nouns and pronouns. Nouns are words for people, places, things, or ideas. Pronouns, he, she, it, they, replace nouns to avoid repetition. Example: John is a doctor. He works at a hospital. Verbs and tenses. Verbs are action words, and understanding tenses, past, present, future, helps you convey time-related actions. For example, I eat, present, I ate, past, and I will eat, future. Adjectives and adverbs. Adjectives describe nouns, e.g., red apple, while adverbs modify verbs, e.g., she sings beautifully. They help add depth to your sentences. Prepositions. These small words, in, on, at, by, show the relationship between objects. Example: the book is on the table, or she goes to school by bus. Conjunctions, words like and, but, and or connect thoughts or ideas. Example: I like tea and coffee, or she wanted to go, but it was raining. Sentence structure. English sentences generally follow a subject-verb-object pattern. Example: she, subject, wrote, verb, a letter, object. 3. Improving pronunciation. Pronunciation is key to being understood. Sometimes, even if your grammar and vocabulary are perfect, poor pronunciation can make communication difficult. Listen and repeat. A great way to improve pronunciation is by listening to native speakers and repeating what they say. Watch movies, listen to podcasts, or use apps that focus on pronunciation. Practice. Difficult sounds. English has some sounds that might not exist in your native language. Focus on practicing these. For example, many learners struggle with the ith sound in words like think and this. Try practicing these in front of a mirror to ensure correct tongue and lip placement. Use phonetic guides. Phonetic symbols can help you understand how words are pronounced. Dictionaries often include these symbols to show how each syllable sounds. 4. Mastering reading comprehension. Reading is one of the most effective ways to improve your English. It exposes you to new words, sentence structures, and ideas. Here's how to make the most out of reading. Start with what you enjoy. If you're a beginner, start with children's books or short stories. As you progress, try reading magazines, newspapers, and novels that interest you. Reading material you enjoy will keep you motivated. Read actively. Don't just passively read the text. Engage with it. Ask yourself questions as you read, "What is the main idea?" Or, "Why did the character do that?" Active reading helps you retain information and improve comprehension. Summarize what you read. After finishing a passage, try summarizing it in your own words. This exercise forces you to process the information and reinforces your understanding of the material. 5. Writing effectively. Writing is often seen as one of the hardest skills to master, but it's also the best way to consolidate everything you've learned. Writing helps you practice grammar, vocabulary, and sentence structure in a practical way. Start simple. Begin by writing short paragraphs or journal entries. Describe your day, your hobbies, or something you learned. Don't worry too much about mistakes initially. Focus on expressing your thoughts clearly. Structure matters. Pay attention to how you organize your writing. A typical structure for a paragraph or essay starts with an introduction, followed by the body main ideas, and ends with a conclusion. This logical flow helps readers follow your thoughts easily. Review and edit. Writing is a process. Don't expect your first draft to be perfect. Review what you wrote, check for grammar mistakes, and see if you can improve sentence structure or vocabulary. Practice different forms. Try writing in different styles, like letters, essays, or even short stories. This variety helps you become a more flexible and adaptable writer. 6. Listening and speaking. Confidently. Effective communication involves both listening and speaking. You need to understand what others say and express yourself clearly in response. Engage in conversations. The best way to improve speaking skills is by practicing. Engage in conversations with friends, language partners, or tutors. If you don't have anyone to practice with, consider speaking to yourself in English about your thoughts or daily activities. Shadowing technique. This is a method where you listen to someone speaking, like in a video or podcast, and try to repeat exactly what they say, mimicking their pronunciation, rhythm, and tone. This can dramatically improve your speaking fluency and listening skills. Understand the main idea. When listening, focus on understanding the main idea rather than getting stuck on individual words. Even if you miss a few words, grasping the overall context will help you respond better. 7. Using technology to your advantage. The internet is full of resources to help you learn English. Language apps. Apps like Duolingo, Babbel, or Memories can be great for building vocabulary and practicing grammar. Online courses and tutorials. Many websites offer free courses in English. YouTube has countless tutorials on everything from grammar to pronunciation. Language exchange. Platforms. Websites like HelloTalk or Tandem let you connect with native speakers who want to learn your language, creating a mutually beneficial language exchange. Voice and pronunciation tools. Apps like Google Translate or Forvo provide audio pronunciation for words and sentences, helping you refine your accent and pronunciation. 8. Advanced grammar and sentence structures. Once you are comfortable with basic grammar, it's time to delve into more advanced topics. Complex sentences. Learn how to combine ideas using subordinating conjunctions, e.g., because, although. For example, instead of saying, I was tired, I went to bed, you can say, I went to bed because I was tired. Passive voice. English often uses the passive voice to focus on the action rather than the doer. For example, the cake was eaten, passive, versus someone ate the cake, active. Conditionals. Conditionals are sentences that describe possibilities. For example, if I study hard, I will pass the exam, first conditional. Or, if I had studied, I would have passed, third conditional. Phrasal verbs. These are combinations of verbs and prepositions, e.g., look up, give in, that have specific meanings. They are commonly used in spoken English and can make your speech sound more natural. 9. Idioms and expressions. To sound more like a native speaker, it helps to learn idioms and common expressions. These are phrases that don't have a literal meaning but are understood culturally. Examples of idioms. Break the ice, to start a conversation. Hit the books, to study hard. Under the weather, feeling sick. Use in moderation. While idioms can make your English sound more natural, using too many at once can be confusing. Use them when they fit naturally into the conversation. 10. Cultural context and communication. Understanding the culture behind the language is important because English, like any language, is deeply intertwined with the societies where it is spoken. Cultural awareness helps you use the language in a way that is polite, appropriate, and well-received. Formal versus informal language. English speakers use different levels of formality depending on the situation. For instance, the way you speak with a friend, informal, differs from how you address a teacher or boss, formal. In informal settings, contractions like don't or isn't are common, and slang or casual phrases are acceptable. In formal situations, complete sentences and polite forms like would you mind or could you please are more appropriate. Politeness and tone. In English, politeness is often conveyed through the use of softer tones and indirect speech. Instead of saying, "Give me the book," which sounds demanding, a polite English speaker might say, "Could you please pass me the book?" Learning these subtle aspects of tone will help you navigate conversations more smoothly. Body language and gestures. Language isn't just about words. In English-speaking cultures, body language plays a significant role. Eye contact, for instance, can show confidence or attentiveness, while a handshake is a common greeting. Misunderstanding gestures can sometimes lead to awkward situations, so it's helpful to learn about these nonverbal cues. Cultural references and humor. English is full of references to historical events, pop culture, literature, and common sayings. Understanding these references can help you connect with native speakers on a deeper level. Humor, particularly in countries like the UK or the US, often involves wordplay, irony, or sarcasm. Familiarizing yourself with cultural references and humor can help you better understand conversations, movies, or shows. 11. Overcoming common challenges. Many learners face specific challenges when learning English, especially as they progress to more advanced levels. Let's address some of the common obstacles. Fear of making mistakes. Many people are afraid of making mistakes when speaking or writing in English. This fear can hold you back from practicing. It's important to remember that making mistakes is a natural part of learning. Native speakers will usually appreciate your effort and won't mind small errors. Pronunciation. Differences. English has many dialects and accents, and words can be pronounced differently depending on where you are. For example, British and American English have several pronunciation differences, e.g., schedule is pronounced schedule in the UK and schedule in the US. Don't get discouraged by these variations. Focus on learning a standard accent first and then adjust if needed. Learning phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs, like give up, run out of, are tricky for many learners because their meanings often can't be guessed from the individual words. The best way to learn these is through context, by hearing and seeing them used in conversations, books, or media. Differences between spoken and written English. English speakers often speak more informally than they write. When watching movies or listening to native speakers, you might hear incomplete sentences, slang, or colloquialisms that wouldn't appear in formal writing. This can make understanding conversations difficult at first, but it's important to recognize the difference between spoken and written English. 12th. Strategies for consistent improvement. To improve your English consistently, it's crucial to stay motivated and develop habits that allow you to practice regularly. Here are some strategies to help you continue growing your language skills. Daily practice. Make English a part of your daily routine. Even 20 to 30 minutes a day can lead to steady improvement. Whether it's reading an article, writing a few sentences, or listening to a podcast, consistency is key. Immersion. Surround yourself with English as much as possible. If you can, immerse yourself in environments where English is spoken. This could be through traveling, participating in online forums, joining a language exchange group, or even changing the language settings on your phone to English. Set specific goals. Set clear, achievable goals to guide your learning. For example, aim to learn 10 new words a week, read a book in English within a month, or hold a 5-minute conversation without using your native language. Having goals keeps you motivated and gives you a sense of accomplishment. Keep a language journal. Write about your experiences and progress in English. Track your improvements, mistakes, and what you learned each day. This helps you reflect on your learning and identify areas where you need more practice. Challenge yourself with advanced material. As you progress, expose yourself to more difficult material. This could include reading academic articles, watching TED Talks, or writing essays. The more you push yourself, the more you'll learn. Speak aloud and record yourself. To improve your speaking and pronunciation, try speaking aloud to yourself in English, or record yourself and listen back. This will help you identify areas where you can improve your fluency and accent. Join English clubs or groups. Whether online or in person, joining groups where people practice English is a great way to interact with others and improve conversational skills. You can share your experiences, get feedback, and learn from others. 13. Advanced English, mastering fluency. Once you've built a strong foundation in English, it's time to focus on fluency. Fluency means being able to express your thoughts easily and naturally without struggling to find the right words or worrying too much about grammar. Thinking in English. One of the most effective ways to become fluent is to start thinking in English. This means when you have thoughts, try expressing them in English rather than your native language. Over time, this will help you form sentences more quickly and naturally. Practice debating or discussing complex topics. To achieve advanced fluency, you should be able to discuss complex topics like politics, culture, or science. Engage in debates or discussions, either with a friend, teacher, or language partner. This will push your ability to articulate complicated ideas and help you develop a richer vocabulary. Reading and analyzing advanced texts. At this stage, it's essential to expose yourself to advanced reading materials like academic papers, research journals, or classic literature. Try not only to understand the text, but also to analyze the style, tone, and vocabulary. Pay attention to how arguments are constructed and how ideas are expressed. Mastering different English varieties. If you're aiming for fluency, it's helpful to understand different dialects of English, such as British, American, or Australian English. While the core grammar remains the same, vocabulary, idioms, and pronunciation can differ. Being familiar with these variations will make you a more versatile English speaker. Public speaking. If possible, engage in public speaking opportunities, whether through formal presentations or casual speeches. Speaking in front of others will boost your confidence and improve your ability to organize and present ideas clearly and coherently. Advanced writing skills. To master advanced writing, focus on writing longer, more complex pieces, such as essays, reports, or even creative writing. Pay attention to sentence variety, argument structure, and clarity. This will help you refine your ability to express sophisticated ideas effectively. 14. Staying motivated in the long term. Learning English, especially to an advanced level, is a long-term commitment. Staying motivated can sometimes be challenging, especially when progress seems slow. Celebrate small wins. Every bit of progress is worth celebrating, whether it's mastering a difficult word or completing a conversation without hesitation. Acknowledge your achievements. Incorporate English into your hobbies. If you enjoy cooking, find English recipes. If you love music, listen to English songs and study the lyrics. Combining your hobbies with language learning makes the process enjoyable. Take breaks when needed. It's okay to take breaks when you feel overwhelmed. Learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint, and it's important to pace yourself to avoid burnout. Stay curious. Curiosity will keep you engaged. Keep asking questions, learning new things, and exploring different ways to use English. When you see English as a tool for discovering new worlds, it becomes much more enjoyable to learn. 15. Engaging with different types of media. A great way to immerse yourself in the language and diversify your learning experience is by engaging with various forms of media. English is prevalent in countless mediums, and using these to your advantage can greatly enhance your listening, reading, and comprehension skills. Movies and TV shows. Watching English language movies and TV shows is an entertaining way to learn. Start with subtitles if necessary, and gradually try watching without them as you become more confident. This will expose you to conversational English, idioms, and slang. Pay attention to accents and variations in speech between different English-speaking regions. Podcasts and audiobooks. Listening to podcasts and audiobooks helps develop your listening skills. Find podcasts on topics that interest you or audiobooks of stories you enjoy. This method allows you to hear how native speakers use intonation, stress, and rhythm in speech. It's also a great way to learn how formal and informal language is used in different contexts. News and current affairs. News channels, websites, and newspapers are excellent for improving your formal English, learning new vocabulary, and staying updated on current events. Listening to news broadcasts helps you get used to more structured and formal English, while reading newspapers sharpens both vocabulary and comprehension of complex ideas. Music and lyrics. English language music offers a fun way to improve your language skills. Pay attention to the lyrics, try to understand the meaning behind the songs, and sing along. This practice helps with pronunciation and familiarizes you with common phrases and expressions used in more poetic or emotional contexts. Social media and blogs. Reading blogs, participating in social media conversations, and following English language content creators can expose you to modern, casual English. This also helps you learn how people express themselves in informal writing, which can differ greatly from formal communication. 16. Using English in real-life situations. Learning English effectively also involves applying it in real-life situations. The more you integrate English into your daily life, the more confident and natural your communication will become. Language exchange. Partners. Find someone who is learning your native language while they teach you English. This mutual exchange can help both of you learn while building a sense of accountability. Platforms like Tandem and HelloTalk are great places to find language exchange partners. Practice in public. Don't hesitate to use English in real-world situations. Whether ordering food in English at a restaurant, asking for directions, or striking up a casual conversation, using English in public helps build confidence. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel over time. Travel. If possible, travel to an English-speaking country or participate in an exchange program. Immersing yourself in a culture where English is the primary language forces you to use the language daily, which can significantly speed up your learning. You'll pick up on local slang, cultural expressions, and day-to-day conversation patterns. Volunteer or work in English-speaking environments. If traveling isn't an option, you can still find English-speaking environments near you. Volunteering at international events, working with English-speaking tourists, or participating in English-speaking clubs or groups gives you practical experience in the language. 17th, refining advanced listening skills. Listening is one of the most important aspects of mastering a language. While everyday conversation might be easy, advanced listening involves understanding subtle nuances, implied meanings, and complex discussions. Identify speech patterns. Listening to native speakers will help you pick up on speech patterns, colloquial language, and fillers like or you know. These small parts of speech are often used in everyday conversation and will help you sound more natural when speaking English. Listening for context. When engaging with advanced English, you might not always understand every word or phrase. However, listening for context, what the speaker is trying to convey overall, can help fill in gaps. Pay attention to tone, body language, and surrounding sentences for clues. Focus on different accents. English is spoken with various accents worldwide. Try listening to different accents such as American, British, Australian, Canadian, or South African English. This will prepare you to understand different variations and avoid confusion when encountering unfamiliar pronunciations. Practice. Active listening. Rather than passively listening, engage with the material. Ask yourself what the speaker's main point is, how they structure their argument, and what tone they use. Active listening sharpens your understanding of both formal and informal English. 18. Developing critical thinking in English. As your English improves, it's essential to develop critical thinking skills, which involve analyzing and evaluating information rather than just understanding it at face value. This is crucial when engaging with academic or professional English. Analyze texts. When reading advanced texts, analyze the structure, arguments, and ideas presented. Ask yourself questions like, what is the author's purpose? Or, what evidence supports the main point? This deep level of engagement with the text enhances your comprehension and ability to respond thoughtfully. Engage in debates. Practice discussing complex topics in English, even if it's just with a friend or a language partner. Engaging in debates helps you practice using evidence to support your argument, articulating your thoughts clearly, and responding to opposing viewpoints. Summarize and paraphrase. After reading a text or listening to a lecture, try summarizing the key points in your own words. This ensures you've understood the material deeply and are able to express complex ideas concisely. Paraphrasing or rewording a text in your own way also helps reinforce new vocabulary and sentence structures. 19. Understanding formal versus informal writing. In English, the way you write can vary greatly depending on the context. Learning the difference between formal and informal writing is crucial as you progress toward fluency. Formal writing. Formal writing is used in professional, academic, or official contexts. It requires a structured approach, correct grammar, and more sophisticated vocabulary. Examples include academic essays, business emails, and reports. Formal writing avoids slang, contractions, e.g., don't, isn't, and personal pronouns, e.g., I, we, unless necessary. Informal writing. Informal writing is more relaxed and conversational. It's commonly used in personal emails, social media posts, and text messages. You can use contractions, colloquialisms, and even some slang. Informal writing is less rigid but still needs to be clear. Tailor. You're writing to the audience. One of the key skills in English is adapting your writing style based on your audience. For instance, when writing an academic essay, you need to use a more formal tone and avoid overly casual language. On the other hand, when writing to friends, you can be more relaxed. 20. Grammar and style. In advanced English mastering, advanced English grammar and style will help you write and speak with precision and flair. This involves not only understanding the rules, but also knowing how to break them effectively when needed. Master complex sentence structures. Learn how to construct complex sentences using subordinate clauses, relative clauses, and conditional sentences. For example, if I had known about the meeting earlier, I would have prepared differently. Understanding these structures will allow you to express more nuanced ideas. Use of modals. Modals, can, could, would, should, may, might, must, are important for expressing possibilities, obligations, and suggestions. Knowing how to use modals accurately allows you to give advice, make polite requests, and speculate about situations. For example, you should try the new restaurant, or he might be late. Refining punctuation. Advanced English requires mastering punctuation, especially when writing longer texts. Knowing when to use commas, colons, semicolons, and dashes can greatly improve the clarity and flow of your writing. For instance, using a semicolon to link closely related ideas, she studied all night, however, she still didn't pass the exam, can create more sophisticated writing. Consistent style. In advanced English, consistency in style is essential. Whether you're using British or American spelling, maintaining uniformity throughout your writing is important. For example, in British English, it's color and organize, while in American English, it's color and organize. 21st, finding your voice in English. Ultimately, as you become more comfortable and fluent in English, it's important to develop your unique voice. This is especially relevant for writing, but also when speaking. Experiment with tone and style. Play around with different tones. Be formal, casual, humorous, or serious depending on the context. This will help you discover how you prefer to express yourself in different situations. Personal expression. Whether in writing or speaking, you should aim to express your personal thoughts and opinions confidently. Don't just rely on textbook phrases. Personalize your language to reflect who you are and what you want to say. Be creative. English is a flexible and creative language. Once you have a solid foundation, don't be afraid to experiment with new words. Try your hand at creative writing, or even make jokes in English. Being playful with the language will help you internalize it and make it your own. Building emotional intelligence in communication. One of the most important but often overlooked skills in mastering a language is emotional intelligence, EQ. EQ is the ability to understand and manage emotions, both your own and those of others. In the context of language learning, it involves recognizing tone, intention, and emotional context in conversations. Understanding tone. The same words can convey different meanings depending on the speaker's tone. For example, the phrase, "you did great," can be encouraging or sarcastic, depending on the speaker's tone. Developing your ability to pick up on subtle changes in tone will improve your conversational skills. Empathy in conversations. Being able to empathize with others is crucial when speaking English. Understanding what someone might be feeling based on their words and body language can help you respond appropriately. For instance, if a colleague is stressed, a simple "is everything all right" can show you care and improve your relationship. Managing conflict in English. Knowing how to handle disagreements or misunderstandings in English is an advanced communication skill. In conflict situations, the ability to remain calm and choose your words carefully is essential. Phrases like, I see where you're coming from, but I feel, or let's agree to disagree, help maintain a respectful tone. 23. Using idiomatic expressions and proverbs. Idiomatic expressions and proverbs are phrases whose meanings aren't directly derived from the words used. Native speakers frequently use these expressions, so learning them is key to sounding more natural and understanding everyday conversations better. Common idiomatic expressions. Phrases like, it's raining cats and dogs, meaning heavy rain, or break a leg, meaning good luck, are commonly used in spoken English. Familiarizing yourself with idioms will make conversations more enjoyable and help you understand the humor and subtleties of the language. Proverbs. Proverbs are short, well-known sayings that offer advice or reflect general truths. For instance, a stitch in time saves 9 means taking care of small problems early prevents bigger problems later. Learning these expressions gives you insight into cultural wisdom and adds depth to your language skills. 24. Enhancing your writing style. When it comes to writing in English, style matters as much as grammar and vocabulary. As you grow more confident, working on your writing style will make your communication clearer and more engaging. Varying sentence length and structure. To make your writing more dynamic, avoid using the same sentence structure repeatedly. Mix short, punchy sentences with longer, more descriptive ones. This variation creates a natural rhythm and keeps your readers engaged. For example, instead of writing, I went to the store, I bought some milk, I went home, you could say, I stopped by the store, grabbed some milk, and then headed home for the day. Active versus passive voice. In English, the active voice, she completed the project, is generally preferred over the passive voice, the project was completed by her, because it is more direct and engaging. However, the passive voice can be useful when you want to focus on the action rather than the subject, such as in scientific writing. Descriptive and persuasive language. In more advanced writing, especially in storytelling, journalism, or persuasive essays, the ability to use descriptive or persuasive language is crucial. Instead of simply stating facts, work on describing emotions, settings, or persuasive arguments in more vivid detail. For example, rather than saying, the view was beautiful, you could write, the sunset cast a golden glow over the rolling hills, painting the landscape in shades of amber and crimson. 25. Expressing nuanced opinions. At higher levels of language proficiency, it's essential to be able to express opinions in a nuanced and diplomatic way, especially in professional or academic contexts. You need to convey your point without sounding overly blunt or too vague. Using softeners. Softening your opinions with phrases like, I tend to believe, or in my opinion, allows you to express your views politely, especially in discussions or debates. For example, instead of saying, that's wrong, you could say, I see what you're saying, but I believe there's another perspective to consider. Balancing argumentative writing. When writing essays or debating, it's essential to acknowledge opposing views respectfully. Phrases like, while some may argue that, or it's true that, help balance your argument and make your stance more thoughtful. Building strong conclusions. Whether in writing or speaking, learning how to wrap up your points effectively is crucial. A strong conclusion doesn't just restate what's been said, it summarizes the key ideas and offers a final thought or call to action. For example, in conclusion, while both sides present valid points, the evidence strongly supports the need for immediate action. Cultural sensitivity in language. As you engage with English on a global scale, it's important to be aware of cultural sensitivity. Different cultures have different norms and taboos, and being mindful of these in conversation can help avoid misunderstandings. Avoiding stereotypes. Language can sometimes reinforce stereotypes unintentionally. For instance, generalizing entire groups of people with phrases like, "all Americans love fast food," can come across as insensitive. It's important to choose words that acknowledge diversity within groups. Respectful language. Use gender-neutral terms where possible, especially in professional or formal writing. For example, use they instead of he or she if you don't know someone's gender, or opt for firefighter instead of fireman. Respectful language is essential in multicultural settings, where diverse backgrounds are the norm. Learning about cultural norms. Some phrases or topics might be acceptable in one culture but not in another. For instance, humor that is based on sarcasm might be common in the UK, but it could be misunderstood or considered rude in other cultures. Being aware of these differences will help you communicate more effectively across cultures. 27th. Mastering public speaking in English. Public speaking is a skill that many advanced English learners strive to master. Whether for presentations, speeches, or discussions, the ability to speak confidently in front of others in English is valuable. Planning and structuring speeches. A well-structured speech has a clear introduction, body, and conclusion. Start with a strong opening to grab your audience's attention, such as a quote, question, or fact. Then organize your main points logically and finish with a memorable conclusion that reinforces your message. Body language and eye contact. Nonverbal communication is just as important as the words you say. Maintain eye contact with your audience to build a connection and use gestures to emphasize key points. Confident body language can make your speech more engaging and persuasive. Practicing fluency and intonation. To sound natural and confident when speaking publicly, practice speaking clearly and at a steady pace. Pay attention to intonation. Emphasize important words or phrases to keep the audience engaged. Practice your speech multiple times before the event to build confidence. 28th. Specializing in professional English. For those who need English for professional purposes, it's important to focus on the specific vocabulary, tone, and communication skills required in your field. Business English. In the business world, formal emails, reports, and presentations are common. It's important to understand the conventions of writing professional emails, e.g., starting with "Dear Name" and ending with "Best regards," and structuring reports clearly. Learning industry-specific vocabulary, such as financial or technical terms, will also help you communicate more effectively in your work environment. Technical English. For fields like engineering, IT, or medicine, it's important to master technical jargon and the precise language used in these areas. This might involve reading industry publications, attending webinars, or even taking specialized language courses that focus on English for specific professions. Networking and small talk. In many professional settings, Making small talk is an important part of networking. Learning how to initiate and carry on polite conversations about neutral topics, like the weather, current events, or shared experiences, can help build professional relationships. 29. Staying motivated in the long run. As you continue to improve your English, keeping up your motivation can be challenging, especially once you've reached an advanced level. Here are some strategies to stay motivated and enjoy the learning process. Set new challenges. Once you've mastered everyday English, set new challenges to keep yourself engaged. This could include taking a certification exam, like ielts or TOEFL, learning a new dialect, or reading advanced literature. Track your progress. Keep a journal of your English learning journey, noting milestones, new words or phrases learned, and experiences that helped you improve. Reflecting on how far you've come will keep you motivated to keep learning. Engage in passion projects. Whether it's starting a blog in English, writing a short story, or participating in a public speaking competition, engaging in projects that excite you will help you continue using and improving your English in fun, meaningful ways. Join English communities. Whether online or in person, joining English-speaking communities can help you stay engaged. Participate in forums, book clubs, or groups that align with your interests. The more you immerse yourself in the language, the more natural it will feel. 30. Mastering advanced grammar rules. Even at advanced levels, refining your understanding of complex grammar rules is key to perfecting your English. These elements add precision and sophistication to both written and spoken communication. Conditionals. English uses conditionals to discuss possibilities, hypothetical situations, and their consequences. Mastering the different types of conditionals, 0, first, second, third, and mixed, is essential. For instance, 0 conditional, if you heat water, it boils. General truth. First conditional, if it rains tomorrow, we'll cancel the picnic. Real possibility. Second conditional, if I were you, I would accept the offer. Hypothetical situation. Third conditional, if she had studied harder, she would have passed the exam. Past hypothetical. Subjunctive mood. The subjunctive mood is used in specific situations, such as giving recommendations, expressing wishes, or talking about hypothetical situations. For example, I suggest that he be more careful, or if I were rich, I would travel the world. The subjunctive is not used as often in English, but it adds a layer of sophistication when used correctly. Reported speech. In advanced English, learning how to transform direct speech into reported or indirect speech is essential, especially in formal contexts. For example, direct. She said, I am tired. Reported. She said that she was tired. Reporting questions, requests, and commands also requires adjusting pronouns, tenses, and modals appropriately. Advanced punctuation. Beyond basic punctuation, advanced punctuation, such as semicolons, dashes, and parentheses, plays an important role in structuring complex sentences. For example, a semicolon can connect two closely related independent clauses. She loves reading. However, she rarely finds the time to do it. 31. Developing storytelling skills. Being able to tell compelling stories in English is a highly valuable skill. especially for public speaking, writing, or even casual conversations. Storytelling involves structuring your ideas in a way that captures the listener's attention and keeps them engaged. Building a narrative arc. A well-told story follows a clear structure with a beginning, middle, and end. Start with a hook that grabs the listener's attention, build tension or introduce challenges in the middle, and end with a resolution that ties everything together. For instance, a personal anecdote might begin with a surprising situation, lead into the problem you faced, and conclude with what you learned. Using descriptive language. When telling stories, vivid and descriptive language helps paint a picture in the listener's mind. Instead of saying, "The day was hot," you might say, "The sun blazed down, and the air felt heavy and stifling." Descriptive language makes stories more engaging and helps convey emotions and settings clearly. Incorporating dialogue. Adding dialogue to your stories can make them more dynamic and realistic. Instead of narrating everything, you can include direct speech to show what characters said. For example, "I was about to leave when my friend called out, 'Wait, you forgot your keys?'" Dialogue adds a layer of interaction and immediacy to storytelling. Controlling pacing. The pace of your storytelling should vary depending on the part of the story you're telling. Slow down during important or emotional moments to give them more weight, and speed up during less significant parts to maintain the listener's attention. For example, a suspenseful moment might be delivered more slowly for dramatic effect. "I reached out for the handle. My heart was pounding. And then, the door creaked open." 30-second. Adapting to different English dialects and accents. English is a global language, spoken in many different dialects and with various accents. Understanding and adapting to these variations is crucial for advanced English learners, especially in multicultural or international settings. American versus British English. Some differences between American and British English include spelling, vocabulary, and pronunciation. For example, British English spells words like color and favorite, while American English uses color and favorite. Vocabulary differences also exist, such as boot, UK, versus trunk, US, for the back of a car. Being aware of these differences will help you communicate more effectively depending on the audience. Regional accents. Even within countries, there are many regional accents that can vary greatly. In the UK, for example, the London accent sounds very different from the Scottish or Welsh accents. Similarly, in the US, a Southern accent is distinct from a New York or California accent. Listening to different accents and practicing your comprehension will help you become more comfortable in a variety of settings. Pronunciation. Variations. Certain sounds and stress patterns differ across dialects. For example, in British English, the R at the end of words is often not pronounced, while in American English it is. Additionally, stress on syllables may change, such as advertisement, British, advertisement versus American, advertisement. Understanding these variations helps you adapt to different speakers. 33rd. Mastering English for Specific Purposes, ESP. For professionals and students, mastering English for specific purposes, ESP, is crucial. ESP focuses on the specific vocabulary, phrases, and communication skills needed for particular fields such as law, medicine, engineering, or academic writing. Legal English. For those working in law, Mastering legal jargon